Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King was developed by Level 5 and was published by Square Enix. It is the first game in the series to have full 3D environments and 3D character models. Because the Dragon Quest games weren't very popular in the US at the time, Dragon Quest VIII was released with a demo disc to Final Fantasy XII, which helped with the game's sales since Final Fantasy is a more popular series in the US. As for me, it is the first Dragon Quest game I have played, and I have heard positive things about this game. But what do I think of it? Is it good, bad, or just meh? The game's story is very simple, and is basically a traditional fantasy story. Things start off with an evil wizard who puts a curse on the Troadian castle, turning the citizens into stone and covering the castle in vines. The only people who survive are the king, the princess, and our main character. However, the king is now a short green monster, and the princess is a horse, while the hero is still a human. From there, the hero sets out with the king and the princess to chase down the wizard and undo the curse, and along the way they meet new faces, make allies, and travel the world. Sure, the story does kinda have a twist, but it's really nothing that surprising. In fact, it's fair to say that it's predictable. It's really the little events that occur throughout the journey that really make things interesting and memorable. The characters aren't that bad either. I mean, yeah, the main character is a silent protagonist type, but his party members have some nice personality and charm. Yangus used to be a bandit, but changes after being saved by the hero and tries to repay the gesture by joining the hero. Jessica, my favorite, is a stubborn, hot-headed mage who sets out to kill the man who killed her brother. And then there's Angelo, who has quite the past with the Amelia Abbey, and a man named Marcello. And of all the party members, he's the one who gets the most development. Combine the simple story with likable characters, and you have an overall enjoyable experience. Sure, it's not very unique, but I found myself very entertained throughout the game. The best way I can describe the gameplay is that it's an old-school turn-based RPG, but in 3D. You visit towns, walk around a world map, fight monsters, and explore dungeons. But there are some things that should be explained, so let's start with the towns. There are of course the usual item, weapon, and armor shops in towns. However, if you've never played a Dragon Quest game before, you might get a bit confused by the inventory system. You see, each character has their own inventory slots, and then there's an item bag. Items in a character's inventory are items that can be used in battle. However, the item slots don't stack. So you can give a character 2 healing herbs and they'll take up 2 slots. As for in the item bag, healing herbs will only take up 1 slot no matter the amount, but can't be accessed in battle. There are also inns for healing, but the most important buildings are churches. At churches you can save your game, cure your characters of poison, remove curses from weapons, and revive fallen characters. Keep in mind, the higher the level the fallen character is, the more it will cost you to revive them. If all your characters happen to die, you will be taken to the last church you visited, and you will lose half your gold. There are also NPCs you can talk to, and you'll need to talk to random NPCs in order to find clues of what you need to do to progress the game. Plus, some areas and NPCs only appear at night, so checking around towns during day and night is quite useful. I actually like this, since it encourages exploration, and there were very few times when I found myself lost. When you aren't in towns, you will be on the world map, and here's where things get interesting. The world map is quite large, and there are paths that you can follow that will take you to other towns. However, if you choose to do some exploring, you may come across chests and side quests, but we'll get more into those later. You will start off by only being able to walk across the world map, but eventually you will get a boat to travel across seas. By doing a side quest at a place called Chateau Felix, you obtain an item that lets you summon a saber cat that lets you travel faster, and this is something I highly recommend doing. And lastly, much further in the game, you will get an item that lets you turn into a bird and travel across the world map by soaring through the skies, and landing almost anywhere you want. And this is by far the best way to travel, especially if you like an awesome view of the world, and if you're trying to find secret areas for side quests. However, there are some spells you can use to make traveling much easier as well, such as an evac spell that lets you escape dungeons, and the zoom spell that lets you travel to towns you have visited before, both being extremely helpful spells. When traveling around the world map, the in-game time will commence cycling through a day and night cycle, while in towns the time will remain still. Keep in mind that at night monsters will be much stronger than usual. The dungeons in the game really aren't too special. Most of them have simple layouts, with only a few being confusing, and most have simple puzzles to solve, with Rhydon's Tower having the most challenging puzzles, at least to me anyway. The battles in the game are laid out very much like many other traditional turn-based RPGs. with on each turn you being able to select your character's moves like attacking, defending, using spells, abilities, and items. And of course you usually run into random encounters on the world map or when in dungeons. And of course your characters will gain experience and gold after killing enemies. However, even random encounters can feel like boss fights, as some monsters have annoying and challenging moves. What I found to be most helpful in fights is to use a lot of Jessica's offensive spells, especially the Kaboom spell. As your characters level up, they will learn new spells, with the only exception being Yangus. Upon leveling up, your characters will earn skill points, which can be distributed through 6 different skills. Each character will have a fisticuff skill and 3 different weapon skills, and each character can use 3 different kinds of weapons. I highly suggest putting points towards the weapon skills, as by doing so you can earn helpful weapon abilities, with sword and knife skills being the best to increase, as you can get abilities that make it easier to kill metal slimes, who give a lot of experience points. The best place to find metal slimes would be Hollow Wind Hill, once you have the ability to fly, and an unmarked island found in the southwest corner of the map once you have a boat. The last skills that can be improved are personal skills for each character, like the hero's courage and Angelo's charisma. However, these skills aren't worth improving since the abilities they give aren't very useful compared to the weapon skills. Then there are side quests in the game. First, there is the alchemy pot. With this you can combine certain items, weapons, and armor together to get better items, weapons, and armor. If you plan on doing this, you will want to keep all the weapons and armor you obtain throughout your journey, for that just in case moment you might need them for mixing. You will also need some gold, so head to the holy island of Neos to fight gold golems who give you the most gold. In some towns there are casinos you can play to try to make some extra money, or lose it like I have. Scattered throughout the world are many medals, which can be found in chests, pots, barrels, dressers, and bags, and finding them can be just as tedious as it sounds. However, by collecting many medals, you can take them to the Princess of Metals, who will reward you with weapons and armor. But by far my most favorite side quest in the game is the Monster Arena. By going to the Monster Arena, found not too far from Pickham, you will be given a bounty quest. After you track down the monsters you need to kill, you will have access to the Monster Arena, which lets you recruit monsters for your own monster party. When traveling around the world map, you may come across wandering monsters, and by fighting these monsters you can recruit them onto your monster teams. You use your monster team to fight other monster teams in the Monster Arena, and by fighting your way up the ranks you will get rewards and new ways to use your monsters in the game. The game is visually beautiful. The cell shading really fits with artist Akira Toriyama's art style. Character models are very well detailed and animated, even the facial expressions look very good. The monsters also have some nice designs and animations to them, and it's nice seeing classic Dragon Quest monsters in 3D. Towns each look very different from one another and have some nice charm to them. The world map looks amazing with how well detailed it is, and it even feels like you're part of a large world. The day-to-night cycle really helps with the atmosphere, and the colors in the game are all very appealing to the eyes. The music is also good, with there being some memorable tracks. Like I said before, Dragon Quest VIII is very much a classic turn-based RPG that's in 3D. It's certainly not an easy game, as you will probably be spending a lot of time grinding. However, I really enjoyed this game. I like having a world map to explore, side quests to complete, a simple and easy to understand story, and challenging but enjoyable battles. Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King is a good game. I personally really like turn-based RPGs, and this game suited me very well, and left a very positive first impression on the Dragon Quest series, and it's because of this game I picked up the Dragon Quest games on the DS, which I have also been enjoying. Currently, Dragon Quest VIII is my favorite turn-based RPG for the PS2, and it's a game that I would highly recommend to anyone who enjoys RPGs, as I just can't simply praise this game enough. Just go out and play it. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I also hope you found it to be reasonably informative. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please check out my channel and subscribe if you'd like. If there's a certain PS2 game you'd like to see me cover sometime in the future, then please leave a suggestion down below. I'm MCB, the PS2 Gamer, and I'll see you guys next time.